Welcome to the awful 2024. Wow, it's 2024. The
That doesn't
awful
sound.
2024 season. In case you didn't notice, I have been joined by league creator, co. What's the word? Commissioner,
Manager,
co-commissioner,
commissioner,
man. Yeah,
co-commissioner,
we don't know the words. We don't know words. It's
whatever.
fine. Welcome to Carl. Hi, Carl.
Hey Ben, how's it going?
It's it's April, and I'm ready to talk fantasy football. That's how it's going. So,
That's perfect.
yeah, right, right. Um, Carl, I brought you here today because we've got a draft coming up. I'm not sure if you can see my screen right now, but according to this ominous countdown, we are inside of a month until our draft takes place.
We
So,
are.
I'm sure you heard we do have some new people joining the league this year. Um, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to basically just dump all awful knowledge that we had onto Shane and Dylan, and maybe even just treat it as a little bit of a rehash of league stuff for all parties involved. What do you think about that?
I think that's an excellent idea.
God, every once in a while I have those. It's good to hear that it's happening right now. Well, let's start brass tacks. Awful, of course, is an acronym, which I don't remember what the acronym stood for. I had a few ideas, Carl. Maybe you could help me verify. I had always winning from losers, which I don't know. Um, absolutely wild fucking league, which it sometimes is.
That one
Um,
might be right.
yeah, avoid women from Langby, which is a small town in Minnesota that I found. So, um,
That one seems like a stretch, but I can't rule it out. I've never been to Langby,
I would
nor do I have
probably
any idea where it is.
I would avoid the women from there though, just based on the name alone. But
That
um
that seems.
yeah, I
Yeah, man, I don't remember what the acronym originally was. I know at one
I
point we were going to have one for everyone.
yeah, I thought we had some really
Every
good
new member
ones
was
at
going
one
to get
point in
their own.
time. Right. I feel kind of bad that we didn't take better notes on that. So
I am sure it's somewhere, but I'm not looking it up.
that's good.
That's past Carl's problem.
Well, welcome Shane and Dylan to Awful AWFL. We are thrilled to have you. Um, we do try and make these videos a semi-regular occurrence throughout the season, and because our draft starts in May, I'm getting started on videos now because why not? Um, so
Damn
hopefully a
right.
couple of these will be insightful. I wouldn't bet on it, but maybe there is a chance. Um, you
This
know,
one might be all right. The next one, when bring Ryan on, definitely not.
there's going to be some brain drain, but no spoilers, no spoilers. um, okay, we're going to talk about league details here. Before we do that, I wanted to quick call out off-season competition things. We've done a few. We did a mini draft for the Super Bowl. We did the Daytona 500. We did March Madness. Congrats to Walker. He did win March Madness, the tournament. Congratulations. Um, I might try and find a way to put a screenshot of that up into the video here. Um, my hands are making a gesture like Vanna White. Um, I'm not even going to put anything in there. That's a total lie. So, here's how the points look heading into the NFL draft. There's that. I'm
I can't
probably not
actually
going to
see
put
it
anything
either.
there.
Don't worry, guys.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. So the
It's
big
on the
one.
league spreadsheet. You can look at it there.
Oh, good. Even better. Even better. All right. The big one, though. We do have the NFL draft coming up this week. And so we're going to have a contest to try and nail the first 10 picks of the NFL draft. Here is how the point breakdown is going to work, okay? You get 1 point for getting the team making the pick correct. So pick one, Chicago Bears. Cool. You got a point because I don't think the Bears are going to trade out of first. You get 2 points for getting the position drafted by that team correctly. So if you think the Bears are going to take a quarterback, you just got 2 points for getting the quarterback correct. You'll get.
So you're up 3 now.
You're up to 3 total. Yes.
All right.
You will get 5 points if you get the name of the player drafted in that spot correctly. So, if the Bears draft Caleb Williams, you got 5 points because that's the person that they took. If you did get all of those correctly, Bears draft Caleb Williams, quarterback, you'll get 10 points total. We'll throw in a couple of bonus points just to round it up and make it look good. But if for some insane reason the Bears drafted Drake May first overall, you'd only get 3 points because the Bears picked a quarterback. So, yeah, and we'll just do the top 10 picks. You don't have to, if you want to get super fancy and flex your mock draft skills and do all 32 teams, you go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I'm also not going to grade you outside of the top 10. So you're really going to be wasting your time. But please, by all means, impress me. So, top 10 picks, team, position, player's name. Send that in an email to awful.official@gmail.com. Let's have those in. God, when should we have them in, Carl? Do we have them in on Thursday or do we have them in on Wednesday? Wednesday night.
Let's say like
I'm nervous
noon
about
on
like
Thursday.
noon on
Let's
Thursday.
say
Okay.
noon on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Noon Thursday. Let's have those picks in. Email them awful.official@gmail.com. Oh, and the points. These points were all building up to a reason. They're going to determine draft order for our awful draft. The points specifically that we earn for this NFL draft guessing game will determine the first 6 rounds of the draft order. So rounds 1 through 6 will be determined by how many points you have earned in this contest. You'll get to pick your draft spot. When we go to Crookston for the draft, we'll play some games when we all get together. Those games, the results will help determine rounds 7 through 12. And then we'll change draft orders one last time at the end of the draft. That will be determined by points that we have earned in the previous 3 or 4 games. There might be one more game coming down the pipe. We'll see. Don't get your panties in a twist. So there's that. Carl, do you have anything else to throw at me? What did I forget? What did I mush mouth? Anything?
I think you're doing good so far.
That's a
Looking
miracle.
at your script here, and I think we're pretty well on track. I
Script?
think we
What are you
got to tighten
talking
up a little
about?
bit.
This is all off the cuff.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, no one can tell you've got a script, Ben.
Thank
Never been
you.
able to.
Thank you. All right. On to league items. As we mentioned, the league is expanding this year. As a result, we're starting from scratch. We're going to go back to square one. So it's going to be a full redraft. We're not going to carry any players into this new season. It's all going to be fresh. We're going to work on new contracts after the draft. Ryan's championship is a thing of the past. You don't need to refer to him as champion outside of like, I don't know, I guess when you see him at the draft, but that's about it. Outside of
Never
that,
refer to him as champion.
never referred to him. That's good.
No.
That's probably
No.
smart.
No.
We are shrinking down the rosters just a teeny tiny bit to accommodate for 2 new teams. Previously, if you remember, maybe you didn't even notice, but it was 9 offensive starters, 9 defensive starters, 9 bench spots. This year, we're doing 8 offensive starters, 8 defensive starters, 8 bench spots. We go from 270 rostered players in years past to 288. We're trying to keep that player pool, as close as we can without getting too watered down. And I think that does a pretty good job of it,
I
adding
think
two
it will too.
teams. Yeah.
Uh, Worth mentioning, we will, of course, be maintaining the IR spot as well.
Oh, yes, yes. There is an IR spot. So don't fret about that if you were
Yeah.
fretting.
It's not going to, I don't think it's going to feel different. It just is going to be a little bit different.
Right. There's still talent out there, long story short.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at teams before everything reset this year, and even still floating out on the waiver wire, we had like Brock Purdy, who I think finished the year as
Mr.
QB
Irrelevant.
7 or something like that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I
it's true. I'm not even lying.
sounds like a lie. You're just making shit up at this point. Kyle Shanahan might be a wizard.
He's probably a
He's
dark
Brock
arts, I
Purdy in
think.
quarterback.
We also still had plenty of, decent replacement level wide receivers and running backs. I think there were multiple guys in that late 30s, early 40s ranking that were still floating around on the waiver wires. And those guys all, pull between 7, 8, 9 points per game. So there are impact makers out on the waiver wires, even at 12 teams with, 24 roster spots between them. So it's not going to be super tight. I think we've got a pretty good handle on that. So
I think
yeah,
it's going to
let's
be
talk about
good.
yeah, let's talk about contracts, Carl.
Contracts. I love contracts. This is one of my favorite things about this league is the contracts. So this, for Dylan and Shane specifically, but also for the rest of you guys, just a kind of general reminder how they work and just an update on how we're doing it since, new year, we're restarting everything. It's going to be the same as year one. We'll draft and close to the beginning of the actual regular season. I believe we're saying the league's NFL's cut down day, I think was what we were planning on having to be our cutoff for when the contracts have to be set, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. Anyway, at that time, we'll set 8 contracts per team. Everyone has to have their full 8 contracts, no more, no less. And this year, we'll set 4 of them at 4-year contracts, 4 of them at 2-year contracts. Exact same thing that we did the inaugural season of this league. We're just doing it again. Going forward, anytime you set a new contract, for example, when one of your 2-year contracts expires, or if you buy out and you have to hand out a new contract, those will all be 4-year contracts. Again, same thing we have done in the past. We're just starting it all over. I mentioned buying out contracts. Most of you guys know how that works. You can get out of a contract at any time. Costs you $5. Simple as that. Now, in the past, we've kind of, gone back and forth a little bit on how to control if guys drop a contract player without, officially planning to, or, if they do it accidentally or if they don't tell us about it type of thing. Going forward, the way we're going to handle that is this. At the end of the season, we're going to look, and if one of your contract players was dropped off your team at any time, $5 buyout. I don't care if he ends up back on your team at the end. Nothing else matters. If he was on your team at the beginning and you dropped him, you owe $5. Ben, do you want to pop in real quick here and give them all a reminder on where that money goes? We're not just, we're just buying beer, right?
Yeah, look, you weren't supposed to say that out loud.
Oh shit! No, tell them what. Tell them the other thing that happens that they don't think we're just buying beer.
So yes, $5. Dropping players cost you $5. All that compensate. I guess we didn't talk about compensation players. Never mind that part.
We'll get to those in a moment, but
We'll get to that in a moment.
tell them what happens with the extra money.
There's these $5 wrinkles that take place. Those all go into a nice little side pot. Throughout the week, I'm going to let you know we have a weekly side mission, a weekly contest, whatever you want to call it. It'll be just some goofy non sequitur that can't really be game planned for, can't really be manipulated. And it's just a way to win part of that side pot throughout the course of the year. And we just try and redisperse that money come draft time next year. So we did things like um, highest rushing yards on whatever week that pops up, longest passing play on any given week, most sacks and tackles for loss in a week. These are all just examples of random ones. We spin a wheel. Um, if that mission or side bet comes up and you happen to win it, then you get that share of the side pot for the week, and it goes towards your buy-in for the next season. I think I explained that right. Did that work out? Is that okay?
That sounds about right.
Okay.
And just, just for your information, uh, last year for 2023, I believe it's $9 per week. Year before that, I think was like 8 or 9, something like that. So, it's in the context of the league, it's a non-trivial amount. Like it makes a little bit of difference towards your buy-in. So
Yeah.
it's just a little fun something for us to do.
And you can win multiple weeks. You could stack them up. It's not just you
Right.
win once and you move on. Carl, I don't believe you won any side missions this last
I
year.
I did not win any side missions this past year. Now,
I think
hypothetically, you could win enough to pay your entire buy-in, but we
absolutely,
haven't
yeah,
seen that
you
happen.
certainly could. No, but I think like Ryan won 3. I think Cody won 2 or 3. So we've had guys win multiple weeks. And so come draft time next year, you've got, $27 coming back to you. You could put it towards your buy-in. And so, yeah, it works out really well, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, okay. With regard to the other way that we collect these $5 that Ben just alluded to a moment ago, the compensation players. Um, so we already have the contract players. The compensation players are kind of a similar but entirely separate thing. Essentially, um, basically you pay $5 to keep a player under a 1 year contract. So it's a keeper player, 1 year, $5 for the year. You can drop them at any time if you want to, no penalty, no one cares. But obviously, you're trying to keep guys that you're not going to want to do that with. We in the past, there's been a maximum of 10 compensation players that you could keep. We've changed that for this year. Going forward, it will be 6 will be the maximum. So if you are literally anyone besides Ryan or Big Mike, it really doesn't affect you.
But those won't come into play until basically next
Next year.
season, right? Yep.
Yeah, we are a year out from those making a difference. We don't make those decisions until the off season, and since we don't have rosters right now, we can't have compensation players. So yes, Ben is correct. We're a year out from dealing with that.
Genius, genius. Beautiful. So that's kind of the quick rundown on contracts, compensation players, some of those little wrinkles that this league does differently. Another thing we do a little bit differently, we use free agent acquisition bucks instead of just a running waiver wire. So each team enters the season with $100 towards their free agent budget. Um, each week, waivers open up on Thursday, and the highest bid for any given player gets that guy. Um, the free agent wire continues to open up even after Thursday, and there aren't free agent bucks for those days, right? It's really just that first Thursday
No, it's
binge.
it's still free agent bucks for all of them. It's just obviously, if there's someone that's worth a big bid, tends to happen on Thursday. But if something crazy happens, we're looking at Sunday morning and someone fell in the shower and isn't going to play on Sunday, and so now you're trying to grab his backup. You might have to we're throwing money at it on free agent bucks at it on every day. It opens up on what, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I
That sounds right. Yep.
believe are the days we have it available.
Yeah, basically any
Essentially,
day there's a game. So
correct. Plus Saturdays,
plus Saturdays.
just for a fun little bonus.
Um, you probably don't want to spend like $60 on a running back without a team, right? Is that safe to say?
That's a weird random example. I don't know why you would say that, Ben.
Like if I was really excited about Kareem Hunt possibly
Yeah, and
signing with somebody before
free agent running back Kareem Hunt.
any games have been played, right? That's you don't want to do that. Is that not a sound strategy?
I mean, who am I to tell other people how to run their team?
That there is that. That is true. Uh, just to, without giving away too much, I have gone through and looked at some of the highest free agent bids on players in this league's history. Typically, we don't see anything go over, I think $40 has been like the highest in season competitive bid for a player. Um,
Because 60 had already been spent on Kareem Hunt, doesn't
yeah,
it?
outside of your outlier $60 bids for guys like Kareem Hunt. So just to float it out there, you don't have to be too crazy. You spend your money how you want to spend your money, but um, just in the friendly reminder of how it typically goes. $40 would be like a very high spend because you want that $100 to last you through,
All year.
all year, at least the first like 5 weeks, when
Right, at
those
least the first half of the season.
right those big impact injuries are going to really hurt your chances going into it. So yeah, free agent bucks. How about trades? What do you get to say about trades?
Well, we just do them. Like you can trade draft picks, you can trade players, you can trade players in season, out of season. Uh, like we are pro trade in this league. It's a good time. We occasionally do weird fucking things. Like heard a rumor that last year someone was trading future draft picks for beer during the draft. That was I don't know who would do that, um,
Oh,
but it seemed to
unsubstantiated,
work out
I'm
all right.
sure. Yeah.
Feel it worked out better for the guy that got beer than the guy who got picks. But what do I know?
I would advise against trading with Ryan. Don't trade with Ryan. He's not trying to help you in any way. I think he's just trying
No,
to hurt you more than anything.
he's not a trustworthy person when it comes to trades.
I don't think so. I
It's a
really don't
bad
think
idea,
so.
especially if you live in Crookston. Like if you live outside of Crookston, you might be able to get away with it. But if you live in Crookston, do not, for the love of God, don't trade with Ryan.
It's
If you feel like you
sound
should,
advice.
just don't.
Yeah.
You're thinking, well, maybe it'll work out for me. It won't.
Yeah, there's a pretty negative track record with that
There really is.
scenario. So,
Something Christian McCaffrey.
what? Uh, one last nugget to throw out: playoffs. We
Is the fun
are
one.
we're expanding playoffs, which you would think is a given considering that we're expanding the league. Well, here's the thing: we're really expanding playoffs.
We're going one.
We're going to an 8-team playoff extravaganza. So, how does that look, Carl? Tell me about 8 teams in the playoffs.
Fairly obviously, the 8 best teams in the regular season are going to make the playoffs.
Whoa!
Uh,
Did not see that.
yeah, I know, right? Uh, you know, first for and here's the part where there's a little bit of a wrinkle, nothing too complicated, but going to do what's called reseeding. So like the first week, one plays 8, two plays 7, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The second week, one, assuming that one wins, they will play the lowest seeded team remaining. So like the best seeded team remaining will play the worst seeded team remaining in the second week.
So you're saying that
Basically,
it's good to
go ahead.
do good, is what you're
It is
saying.
good to do good.
Okay.
Um, and like we kind of just you know, like we know that putting 8 in there is a lot. There's was a lot of talk, and I'll go ahead and own it. I push really, really hard against going to 6 teams because I do not want bye weeks. And so I kind of bullied the other guys into agreeing to 8 teams instead. So this was kind of the compromise of, the best team is going to draw the worst team every week throughout the playoffs to just give them that. I mean, it's not really an edge, but at least, feels like it gives them a little bit better chance to not, knock out fucking the 1 seed in the first week or second week or something like that. Hopefully, we want to see the best teams win, or at least the teams that are doing the best at the time win. Because if we just saw the best team win, there ain't no fucking way Ryan would have a championship. Or if we're honest, Ben.
Whoa, wait a minute. Catching
Shots
strays? I'm
fired.
over here hosting a video. I don't know what's happening. I do think that 8 teams in the playoffs will be honestly pretty exciting.
It's going to be
the
wild.
the run up to the playoffs this last year was honestly super, super fun, super entertaining. I think even into the last week of the season, we still had definitely 2, maybe 3 teams that were all jockeying for that 4th playoff spot. So I think expanding playoffs out, even with expanding the league, I think that is really going to give a good shot in the arm to those final 3-4 weeks of the season when things really start lining up. And yeah, at first I did not love the idea of an 18 playoff, but yeah, looking at how last year played out and kind of extrapolating that to a bigger league, hell yeah, let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
I think it's a win-win, absolutely. So
it's gonna be a good time.
It's always a good time. It's fantasy football season.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not really. It's not even the draft yet, but
right. But hey, one last time. I think we're wrapping it up here. May 19th, Sunday, May 19th, Crookston. All right. So what that means, obviously, you guys that live in Crookston, you're fine. But what that means is, Shane, you got to get your ass to Fargo. I too will get my ass to Fargo, and then we'll all kind of convoy from there.
Yeah, and
we will descend upon Crookston, and they'll never know what hit them.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I didn't mean to bury the lead here, but Carl, the Tortured Poet department came out on Friday. Do you want to share your thoughts on the new Taylor Swift album before we wrap up?
I got to admit, haven't heard it yet, Ben. I actually didn't know there was a new one.
Way to downplay it, Carl. Way to downplay it.
Sorry, I failed you, Ben. I failed you.
No, it's better this way. There's a lot
of had something ready to go. Should have had something prepared for this.
A lot of real hot opinions. So
I'm sure there are.
Guys, we're inside of 30 days until our draft. NFL draft kicks off here in like 6 days, 5 days. I don't know.
5 sounds right.
5.
Thursday night. Thursday night.
Things are really amping up. It's a great time to be in this league. Please email those draft guesses to awful.official@gmail.com. We'll see you again soon with a video about scoring. Until then, thanks for checking in. Carl, do you want to say bye? You're not going to say bye or anything. You're just going to be like quiet.
Oh no, I was just going to let you. Bye, guys.